Hey guys, it's Bill from Linden, Tennessee. It's a Saturday before the Christmas week, and I'm headed up to Mom and Dad's for the whole week. But I wanted to get a little bit of work done on the Miss Cub before I headed off to their house tomorrow morning. I got my new charger in. I have another charger up there, 48-volt charger, and I used it, and it charged up a 48-volt pack to 58 point something or other, which is okay. That works out to about 3.6 volts per cell, but 3.6 volts per cell is kind of on the high end. It is the high end of what you want a lithium iron phosphate. This is a 57 point something or other volt charger, and I'd much prefer that. That's going to end up charging these to about 3.5 per cell. Now that doesn't sound like a whole world of difference, but it kind of makes a deal. So I got my lithium iron phosphate cells. These are 105 amp hours each, and 16 of them. And you can see we got 53.9 volts right now. And I'm testing this thing out to see when it stops. I'm also testing this out to see the condition of these batteries. I don't have any kind of BMS or equalizer or anything like that on here. Eventually I'm going to have a little doohickey that looks like this. This is called an equalizer. It's not a battery management system or a battery monitor even. But what it does is it uses these capacitors and a whole bunch of little, I don't know, FETs or resistors or whatever the hell they are. And if it detects a cell that's higher than the other ones, then it'll drain voltage from that cell and put it into one that's lower. For example, the one that I've got these clamps on, this cell right here is at 3.5, whereas the other ones are at something less than that. That one right there is at 3.3, and that one is at 3.3 also. Meanwhile, this one here is at 3.5. If this one here hits 3.6, which it could, then I'm going to go ahead and stop this charge because I don't want to overcharge any of these cells. 3.6 isn't overcharging it. Like I said, it's right where it needs to be, but until I get a bigger version of this only does 8 cells. I need one for 16, so if this doesn't hit 57 before that hits 3.6, then I'm just going to call it off and just wait until I can do this more properly and possibly a little bit safelier for the cells. But over here, I have gone ahead and taken this thing apart again. And I think the last time I made a video, I was still kind of planning on putting a clutch on here to run the front PTO and having this cog belt on there, a timing belt to run the hydraulic pump. But I've since decided I'm not going to use that clutch system. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get a pulley that's the right size and just mount it on the front here. This is too small. It's a 4-inch pulley. I got a 6 coming, but and I'm just going to mount it on the front of the snoot of this motor here, and then use that to run the PTO, run the belly mower. But what I think I'm going to do, since I've gone ahead and spent the money on this absurdly way overpowered motor for just running a 54-inch belly mower, I think I'm going to keep this cog tooth on there because since this motor shaft is so long anyway, I'm going to keep this on there. And I think what I'm going to look into doing is running a drive shaft backwards. So it'll come out back here and then come out on the end, and then I'll get it's actually a PTO speed increaser, and they use them for like a standard 540 RPM PTO on a tractor, but it's a speed increaser, so you would plug a hydraulic pump into this thing. Instead of being 540, it increases it up to 3,500, which is what most hydraulic pumps are. Well, I'm going to put it backwards so that it takes the 3,500 from the motor and steps it down to 540. Now you might be asking, Bill, what the hell are you going to do with that? I don't know. But for the time being, since I'm shortening the drive end on that thing, I'm going to go ahead and take this frame back to its original length. That way I don't have to lengthen my mule drive, and I think I went through a whole list of things that I won't have to do if I do this. So this is going to happen, and I'm hopefully going to get this all at least tacked together before it's time to make some pumpkin pie. and head off to mom and dad's tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes. All right, got a bit done here, and then about an hour or so only. But I got that all welded back, well, tacked back together. Got the mule drive under there, drive motor back on, and the PTO motor. I need to get these standoffs off. But what I can tell from all this is that I've got plenty of, this is going to work great. This whole motor is going to need to get shifted over to the left, just like the rear one was. These basically need to be lined up with each other. So that needs to get shifted over to the side there, and then drop down. I don't know. It's not, I don't have it exactly set yet, but it needs to get dropped down, roughly that much. And then got plenty of room for a cog for my timing belt if I want to run a drive shaft back. And I think I'd be able to, because if I can, if I cut this down, this is going to be cut down, of course. It doesn't need to be higher than this. In fact, it needs to be quite a bit lower. But if this is cut down, then there's kind of a straight shot all the way back along that frame rail. So that might work. That'd be kind of sweet. I can clock these battery terminals or motor terminals anywhere I want to. And yeah, that'd be kind of cool to have a little PTO out back. Kind of opens up some ideas of what I could do with it. But anyway, I think I'm going to call it a night. I'll wrap it up for now. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.